Hi there. I split this off from a longer video, both for length and because it's more speculative. But I was going over what is the end point for House of the Dragon Season 2. And we have confirmed from spy photos and reliable leaks that the action element of the finale in Episode 8 will be the Battle of the Red Fork, when the main Lannister army forces a crossing into the Riverlands and begins the Riverlands campaign. This is a main campaign of the war. So this is pretty early in the story, that once they got season renewals after Season 1 was a hit, they slowed down the rate of adaptation, that they're taking their time to get it right. But this battle is between the Lannisters and the Riverlords. It doesn't involve any of the main characters like Rhaenyra and Daemon, or Alicent and Aegon. What are they going to be doing? And we have rumors that, apart from Rhaenyra visiting Harrenhal at one point, there will be a face-to-face meeting between Rhaenyra and Alicent again. So I want to give my informed speculation of something they might do that does happen in the book. It's taken from a later point in the book, which I suspect they might have just moved earlier. And, you know, the really hardcore spy channels are probably chuckling at me for this. I'm probably wrong. It might be something invented, I don't know. But I just want to go on record as this is what my speculation is at this point in time. I'm going over something that is from the book. This is something that happens there, and just they might be doing this. Well, what happens? As the war progresses, it stalemates. Remember that this is based on a real-life civil war in England known as the Anarchy between Matilda and Stephen. And it was in the 1100s, and it lasted 19 years. It stalemated, they were exhausted. This doesn't last quite that long, but there comes a point when they realize there isn't going to be a quick victory. Both sides have lost a lot of people. They've lost more family members. Rhaenyra's side is starting to run out of money, like what is Aragorn's tax policy, that her armies have the upper hand, but they're running low on cash, that they can't conquer the core territories of the Greens. They go, well, we're winning, but we can't really make a push for Old Town. We don't have the resources. And the Greens are on the back foot, but they're not in danger of complete collapse. So it's seesawing back and forth, but they realize this is really stalemated, and this could keep going on for a long time. There comes a point where Alicent meets Rhaenyra again, and suggests, why not just partition Westeros between the Blacks and the Greens? Now I say partition in the full historical sense of that term, such as partition Ireland, or partition the Indian subcontinent. To a lesser extent, partition Germany, but that's sort of not quite the same parallel, but partitioning Ireland and India, could we partition Westeros between the Blacks and the Greens? This is actually a reasonable suggestion when you look at the areas they control on a map. That the Greens are made up of the Reach, the Lannisters in the Westerlands, and the Baratheons in the Stormlands. They're all in the southwest, though these are the most populous, wealthy parts of Westeros where all the cities are. Rhaenyra's Blacks are the Riverlands, the Starks in the north, the Arryns in the Vale, the Greyjoy side with them eventually. So just looking at a map, it's more or less a clear division of everything northeast of the Blackwater River is Rhaenyra's side, everything southwest of that is the Greens, and up to the mountains of the Westerlands at the western side of the Riverlands. There's some fuzzy edges. Some of the Riverlords side with the Greens at first, some in the north of the Reach side with the Blacks, but that pretty much stabilizes of, okay, this is more or less the division I can see there. One might call it a two-state solution for Westeros, though they don't think in terms of nation-states. State isn't a term they use, that they think of kingdoms. But Alicent says, why not have one kingdom for the Blacks ruled from King's Landing, and one kingdom for the Greens ruled from Old Town, which is both the seat of House Hightower and Westeros' second city. It's slightly smaller than King's Landing, but a lot better planned out because it's older, so it's arguably more prestigious. Rhaenyra refuses this partition when it actually might have been sensible to do that, or arguably. And this is one of those things that comes up in Fire and Blood, the unreliable narrator element, that you can't really be sure why she did this. The reason that the Maester writing the in-universe history book gives is she was full of spite and anger at all the family members she'd lost at that point, and their blood is on your hands. I will keep fighting to crush you, even when, from a point of practicality, it might have made more sense that you can't push into our core territories. It would take you years to do this. And even meeting with her advisors, there's some saying maybe we should try to negotiate. No. Well, what we now know from the TV show is, in secret, she was motivated by the prophecy of the Song of Ice and Fire, that her father Viserys impressed on her the Targaryens must keep the Seven Kingdoms all united to stand as a common front against the existential threat of the White Walkers coming beyond the Wall. So putting two and two together here, I think what the TV show is ultimately going to do is have this moment, but have everyone think, why is Rhaenyra suggesting this? It's actually reasonable to at least hear her out of, could we partition this? Because the war is stalemated. And secretly it's because she says, I have to unite all of the kingdoms because of the prophecy. And this drives her to do, when it's really not practical to try to keep the war going. And my suspicion is this moment that is in the books, where Alicent suggests Partition Westeros, would be a good point to end Season 2 on if you want to half-invent another big face-to-face scene between Alicent and Rhaenyra. Use this as a peace negotiation that they move around. Would this have actually worked? I don't know. Alicent isn't unreasonable for going, could we try to do this? Because then again, people will tell you in the comments the fuzzy borders of, well, the Brackens are Green supporters, they're in the Riverlands. The Caswells, the Greens killed Lord Caswell, he's from the Northern Reach. Are you going to give the Caswell lands to the Greens? The Caswell lands at Bitterbridge and the Greens at Stonehenge might become the next Londonderry or Kashmir region for partitioning Westeros. Well, it's kind of fuzzy at certain points. That's what I think might be the ending specifically for Rhaenyra and Alicent in Season 2. We're not entirely sure yet for them. We know the battle element of the finale will be Red Fork.